This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake that fire.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust.
44 minutes into the hour. Heather B. It's not his first time on the show, but every time I see this guy, I get really excited. This is when I know, Heather B., I'm doing something right.
Exactly.
You know, this is when you know you're on the right path, man.
Exactly.
You know, it reminds you of why you got into business in the first place. It's just strictly for the music, strictly for the culture. And we cross paths many a times, you know, whether it was through some MTV event, but screw that, just on GP, just for the love of music. Dude has always been 100 with me. The one and only Travis Barker is here. What up, man? How you doing, bro?
Chillin', man. Thanks for having me.
Come on. This dude, he's so humble. Every time I see him, he'll Sway, thank you, man. I remember I went to your office once, and it's like, thank you for being here, Sway. And I'm like, damn, where else would I want to be right now, man?
Oh, man, much appreciated.
You've been doing a lot as of late, man. You've been getting down with Killer Mike and them, you know, with them Run the Jewels, right?
Yeah, we collaborated on the Run the Jewels album, Run the Jewels 2, for a song called All Due Respect. And then, yeah, man, I show up and play live with them a lot.
Yeah?
We just played FYF Festival over the weekend.
Yeah, y'all killed it. I saw the footage of it, man.
So fun.
So is it that easy, if anybody calls you and say that, you know, hey, man, can you come do a live set for me? You're down to do it, or?
I mean, I do it sometimes, like, you know. I did one with YG recently. It just depends, you know. Mike and LP have been friends of mine forever, man. And I was a big fan of both of them individually before they became, you know, Run the Jewels together. So it was, you know, it just seemed right, you know.
Yo, Heather, this is what I like about Travis, because the world probably met him through Blink, you know what I mean? But when you meet him in person, you realize that you don't have like a genre, you know, like that you're boxed into. You you got a real serious hip hop ear. You know what I mean? Like who are some of your favorite, like, who would be your top 5 today?
Today?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
Don't make me pick.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I mean, obviously, Run the Jewels would be really high on it.
Okay. All right.
Joey Badass.
Okay.
Ooh,
all right.
Dope.
Nice.
I guess for the West Coast, like, cause I've heard what's about to happen. The Game.
You heard
like
his album?
Documentary 2 is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
So great. You know. Who else? I mean, I grew up on Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Like
all right.
Meth and Raekwon and Ghost. So I guess I have to capture them. M, obviously one of the greatest.
Right. Have you and them worked together yet?
Yeah, we actually did. I played I did the Grammys with him, Drake, and Wayne when they did Forever. Okay. And Drop the World. And then I did, what was it? It was like a big video game conference. I went and played with them at too. I played with them a couple times.
You and Yellow Wolf worked together too.
Yeah, I think he'd actually be someone else. I got to put it in there because he's so different, man, and he's so good at what he does. He's like he's created his own genre of, like, you know, combining like his southern influence with, you know, all the country shit he grew up on, but still being a nasty rapper. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's standing by that Confederate flag too.
Yeah, I see that's very controversial. I didn't even see what happened. My boy was like, man, you see what's popping with Yellow Wolf? And I looked and I was like, oh man, it's so hard, man. It's you know, I remember we were doing a line of clothes together and he wanted to incorporate it in there, and I was like, hey man, we can't. You don't have an opportunity to explain this shit to everybody. So you can't just put it on a t-shirt. You know? Retailers ain't gonna understand it, and people won't understand it. But sitting here debating this with you, I see your points. You know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from too, but it's just, oh man,
it's too hard, right? It's hard to get that one across. Too many and you know, he makes valid points when he say, well, you guys grew up on the West or the East Coast, so you wouldn't understand this Southern culture. And hey, listen, perhaps that's true, but it's a lot that's attached to that we just cannot tolerate slavery. Everything, anything else but that. You know what I mean? All right, so man, you got a new project. You got a song called 100, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of gearing up to do my whatever it's gonna be. Give the drummer some more. Give the drummer some too. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's the my second solo album. So yeah, I got about like 6 or 7 records, and I'm just gearing up. But yeah, I released one of them.
I remember interviewing you about Give the Drummer Some, and it ended up doing really well, man. Like on the Billboard charts, and people. I mean, I think it got critical acclaim from most of us, man. How did you receive that? Did you expect that?
Nah. I mean, obviously, man. I'm always like, going into anything not expecting anything. You know, it was more of a dream just to put out a hip hop album, a hip hop rooted album where I worked with all my favorite MCs. I mean, the first one, I had like some rock guests on there too. I had like Tom Morello from Rage, and I had like Slash and people like that. But it's just something I've always loved. I grew up listening to rap just as much as I did punk rock or metal. I've always been happily confused.
Yeah, happy.
So anytime I get to put out something I'm passionate about, and especially for a drummer, man, there's not always been a place for a drummer in hip hop.
Yeah, this is true.
So it's been really cool. I fell in love with production maybe gotta be like 10 years now. Bun hit me one time. He was like, yo, I'm working on my album. I want you to make a beat for me. It actually came through my buddy Rob. And I said, yeah, man, I don't make beats. I'm a drummer. Yeah. But I'm up for the challenge. And I did it. And then from then on, I was just like hooked.
So Bun B, ushered you into the beat production game, right?
Yeah. Wow. What better for my first invitation?
Yeah, right. Like, Bun B, wow, the legend. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to hear this song. It's Ty Dolla $igns on it, right?
Yeah. This record was done, and it was like, man, it's such a summertime record. I'll probably have it be like the first thing I release, gearing up for my album, because it just seemed like a right now sort of record. And when I go into the studio, I can never predict, like, yo, I'm going to write this kind of beat right now. And it was like, when I wrote it, I was like, wow, this is like some radio shit. Like, I don't usually, my first album was very, like, underground. There wasn't a lot the radio could play. Yeah. So this was just, like, kind of like a gem for me. It just happened, and Ink's a really good friend. I made the beat. The next day, I was at his studio. This first time he heard it, he had the idea for the chorus, and the record just came together really quick.
Call 100, y'all. Travis Barker is here. You want to talk with him? 888-742-3345. Sway in the morning. Are we the first to play this?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Let it go, Travis. All right, man. Here it is. Save 45. All right. Sway in the morning. We got Travis Barker just joined us. That's the new song. It's called 100. Now, who's all on that? That's Ty Dolla $ign, right?
Kid Ink.
I
Am Sue. Tyga.
That's it.
It's at 4 people, right?
4 people right there. Okay.
The same thing happens to me. They're like every time I'm like doing a drop for it, I'm like, shit, did I get everybody?
Yeah, right. It's a lot of folks. You and Tyga, y'all stay in the same area.
Yeah.
So y'all does Tyga just like come over and just open your refrigerator and just eat? You know what I mean? Like.
Like when we have birthday parties for my kids or something, like we'll all get together. Everyone from my neighborhood right there gets together. Like I have Big Boy over there.
Big Boy?
From the Real 92.3.
Yeah. Thanks
Thanks
for shouting them out. When you go on this show, make sure you shout us out.
Yeah, of course.
All right, thank you. I'm dead ass serious.
So we have a cool little community in the neighborhood.
Okay, that's great, man. We got a lot of folks on the line that want to talk to you, man. We got from South Carolina, we got Robert on the line. Rob, what up, man? Say hello to Travis Barker.
What's up? First off, I want to say Tracy, Heather, Sway, I'm a huge fan. Thanks for having me on. But Travis, I had a question. I wanted to know if there was any chance of a Blink-182 reunion in the near future.
I think we're getting in the studio later this year. Myself, Mark Hoppus, and Matt Skiba, but it's just kind of like writing sessions. We had done one show earlier this year without Tom, one of the original members. Yeah, he was tripping, and he quits every 9 to 12 months, whatever. So finally,
what makes him quit though? Like it seems like
I don't know, man. Like he's sensitive. I don't know what it is. I wish I could put my finger on it. Yeah. But for whatever reason, we had a show booked, and it's kind of in his fashion. Even when there's a show booked, the first time he quit, there was a tsunami benefit, to help people. Yeah. And he just dipped out on everybody. Yeah. So he has terrible timing. And he did it again before this show, and we were like, we're just gonna do it with our friend Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio, who's really dope. And we ended up doing that show, and then the whole time we were rehearsing for those shows, he would come every week with new songs that were amazing, and we weren't even really thinking that far ahead. And we were like, halfway through rehearsals, Mark and I were like, man, this guy's, super, super good. He's killing all these songs for the show, and he's writing amazing songs, bringing them to the table for what could be, I don't know, a collaboration between us and maybe the future of Blink. So we're getting into the studio, actually, like November, December.
December.
See what's happening.
The fans didn't have any like weird reaction to seeing a new face?
I think it's really divided, but I think there's a lot of fans who are kind of over Tom's shit.
Right.
Sort of. You know what I mean?
That's real.
You know, and you know, Matt comes from the same world as us. Like he's cut from the same cloth, so they already have a huge respect for him, and they see him just, you know, there's not too many people that could do it, and he's the one.
Yeah.
And he came in and he just killed it. You know.
So
I agree though. It's rare. You know, it's rare that someone could come in and I'd be like sideways, like I don't know. You know, you guys shouldn't do this, but yeah, Matt Skiba's just a perfect fit.
That's a good comparison, Tracy.
What'd she say?
Destiny's Child did it.
That's awesome.
Great point right there, Tracy. All right, let me see. Let's take another caller. We got Ryan from Pittsburgh on the line. Ryan, good morning.
What up, Ryan?
How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going? How you guys doing?
Doing all right, bro. What's happening with you?
Not much. So I'm from Pittsburgh. I DJ for Riff Raff, and I know that him and Travis just did a video together. And I was just wondering what he thought about the collaborations that he does with hip hop. If he enjoys that, or if he enjoys drumming in a band better.
You know, I like it all. It changes. You know, I'm blessed. Like on a weekly basis, I'm doing something different. You know, I just. You know, I did that collaboration with Riff Raff, and he actually came to me wanting, like, I mean, I have a hip hop record on my album too with Riff. Yeah, that's pretty funny and exciting. But when he came to me, he was like, I really want to tap into this '80s, really like grimy synth, kind of new wave. He didn't even know what to call it, but that's what it was. He basically wanted like this new wave track. So we created this track called Spaz Out for Warped Tour. And it was fun, but like I said, you know, I think the week before that I was doing something with Afrojack. The week before that I was working on Game's album. I was playing drums on a bunch of the stuff on the documentary too, and making beats for that album. Yeah. So it's always, man, it's always changing, and I think it's a blessing. I would get bored if I did the same thing every week.
Yeah. What about Hobson, man? Last time you talked with him, because you know Funk Volume, Hobson put out a challenge on our show maybe a week ago, and he said he'll put up $500,000 to any crew that's in the business right now, TDE, Young Money, Good Music, and Funk Volume will take them out in a battle.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's why I love Hobson.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I mean, if anyone's sleeping on him, I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Or they wrote him off for something. Like I've been in the studio with him. We were gonna do an EP, and man, he's talented. His whole crew's talented. Yeah. Like everyone in there. Like it's legitimate.
Fun.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Okay, well, you know, Crooked Eye Brothers, Horseshoe Gang. Well, he challenged Slaughterhouse too, but his Crooked Eyes Brothers got a group called Horseshoe Gang, and they. Matter of fact, I got it, man. They already responded to it, so maybe it's something we could play in a little later on the show.
Oh man,
what?
I like that, man.
Yeah, they already responded to it, man. So I gotta email it to you, DJ Wonder, so you can hear the response. So we have no idea of when this album will be complete, right?
Nah, I mean right now I'm probably about halfway through. I got a really great record with Yellow Wolf. I got one with Killer Mike and LP called Forever with Run the Jewels. I got one with Problem and Bad Luck, Game. Got one with Wayne. About to get in the studio with YG when he gets home from tour. Okay. Nipsey Hussle. It's bubbling, you know.
Yeah, man. You about the only dude who could bring all these rappers together, man. No problem, man. You realize that. You and Dr. Dre.
Oh. Man, I'm not even worthy to have my name mentioned in the same sentence.
Travis, I'm interested in knowing what's like the key to your resilience, because seeing your disposition, you're so calm, you still have like this lust for life, when a lot of people who may have been in your shoes throughout like your years and all the trials and tribulations may have just became jaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, music's always been something I'm passionate about. You know, it's not like a paycheck, obviously, for me. I mean, my only goal when when I guess if you want to say trying to make it was have a place to eat, you know, a place to sleep, enough money to eat, and play the drums.
Right.
So that was my goal, and I surpassed it years ago. I was like a trash man at the time.
Wow.
You know,
What do you mean a trash man?
I was a trash man.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like so when I was grown, as soon as I finished high school, Pops basically said like, yo, you can either like pay rent and work like 60 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
Or you can go play your drums, but you're not going to do it here, not paying rent, not, you know, being a responsible adult. So I took off and with my drums, and I went and stayed in this studio apartment in Laguna Beach with like 4 of my friends. I had no money, no job. And I worked as a trash man there, and I was basically like a drum whore. Like I was like scandalous, you know, drummer for anybody. And as long as I was getting paid and I was making money. And then from there, it was just a couple years later, I was touring a little bit. A couple years later, I was buying Pops cars and houses.
Wow.
And I just came up. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was never, you know, of course I dreamed. I didn't even dream, but I envisioned like what would it be like to be, you know, hella successful. But I never ever thought it was reachable or attainable. So the goal was just enough money to eat and sleep somewhere.
I remember reading somewhere that part of the reason why you wanted to get so many tattoos is because it would force you to be in the entertainment industry like no one else would take you for a job. Is that true?
Yeah, around that time too, Pops would always, you know, and it was good, man. My dad's awesome. He's a Vietnam vet, very tough, but he'd be like, you know, like tattoos are job stoppers. Like you won't, you know, you need a plan B. There's no way you're gonna get a normal job if you have tattoos, and that just resonated with me. So I flipped it on him, and I was already getting tattoos, but you know, I got a huge memorial for my mom on my forearm, and then I went straight to the neck. Like I was getting tattoos every day. So I figured if I position myself where I can't get a normal job, I'm gonna do what I love, and I'm not even gonna like, you know, pay any mind to a plan B.
Right.
That was the goal.
That's maybe what a lot of kids. So you set a fine example for kids who don't want to work.
Yeah, right.
Get tattoos.
Well, like no, I don't like the plan B. I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was very, very like, even as like a youngster, like in school, you know, Pops didn't have no money for college, and they'd be like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, just gonna play the drums, and the counselors would sit there in like disbelief, like ghost white, thinking I was crazy, you know. But you know,
it worked out.
Yeah.
But you talking about your dad so much, and I can't help it just to think, because I remember having those kind of feelings too, coming up and being a teenager and looking at my parents. So, what kind of parent are you with your kids?
Oh man, I had amazing parents. So I you know, I try to do the same thing for my kids. Like my daughter's here right now. She won't even. You know, she knew I was coming to the radio. She's like, I'm coming with you, even though it was 6:30 in the morning. But no, I mean, my kids are my priority.
Amen.
Like, you know, I put them first. I lost my mom when I was really young, when I was like 11. So it's always been, she was a dope mom. My pops killed it. He was an amazing dad. So I gotta, you know, do what they did and even better for my kids.
You know, and she's beautiful too. She looks like
you.
she bosses you around. To be quite honest with you, man.
She's tough, man.
Yeah,
that is the boss.
Yeah,
you got it right away.
I want to ask you, man. And both of us knew, of course, DJ AM, and I knew him extremely well, and as well as just from the DJ community. And it's the As I Am doc that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see it at all?
I've seen pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Do you think it's what I mean? What can you tell us about it all?
I mean, for me, the parts that I seen, it was like, I didn't know. I didn't go to high school with Adam, so it was like a lot of it was kind of like, it was getting to see this piece of my friend I never got to see, which was really cool. Yeah. And then some of it just hits really close to home. Obviously, you know, there was parts of the movie where I was like shook, man. I couldn't, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I barely contained myself, but yeah, man, I think it's great, and I think just kids and the youth being able to watch it could maybe steer some kids from getting mixed up in the wrong shit, you know? Yeah. And it's just it's a great success story, man. It's just it's a feel good documentary, man. Like the whole time I was like, you know, the majority of the time until it, you know, the end, I mean, you're smiling and you're just rooting for the guy. Like he as you knew him. He was amazing, man.
Great guy, man. I always tell a story of last time I saw him, I was at a club, and I brought DJ Revolution with me. And they hadn't met yet, and then Rev is, this underground enthusiast, like, man, anybody's doing mainstream clubs. Nah. I said, nah, you gotta meet this dude, man. You're gonna love this dude. And he's like, So we went to, what was that? That was like hip hop purist grunt, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, but he comes from where we come from. All right, let's come to the club with me, dude. And we went to the club. And Adam AM just saw him and just kind of gave him all kind of praise and just turned the turntables over to Rev. What? And Rev started, LAX, I think Rev started DJing the club, man. And when he left, man, they hugged up. And he was like, man, I had the greatest experience right there doing it, man. And that was just the type of dude he was. So I think this doc is a good idea because I think we should always document certain key figures in our culture. You know what I mean? Whether they're with us or they're not. I just think it could also be used, like you said, as a tool to help influence kids who are coming up in the best way possible, man.
Yeah, because
right?
I mean, he was a kid with a dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a crazy, story of him just growing up loving to DJ. The next thing you know, it's this little, LA kid, Jewish kid from LA playing Madonna's parties. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Yeah. And dating Nicole Richie and being all over these like Hollywood magazines and all this bullshit, then to finding out he was sober and he was a recovering addict, and then he was sober for 12 years and not only sober but helping people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, man, the guy helped me many of times. Wow. You know what I mean? That's great, man. He would challenge me. He's like, man, I dare you to be sober for 24 hours. And at the time it was like, what? Like I couldn't go 2 hours without being sober, Yeah. He man, every step of the way he was such a good influence on me. Wow, man, that's great, man. So I people look out for this this documentary, As I Am, October, I think this year. They're doing a indie campaign. Wonder what? Yeah, I know they're still raising money to try to get all the music in it approved, cleared.
Okay. They're like at 129,000 right now.
Okay.
But if you donate, you get the movie sent to you, or there's a couple other things. You can get mixes sent to you and stuff like that.
How can people donate though?
Just type it in DJ AM doc, and it goes straight to the Indiegogo page.
Thank you, DJ Wonder. All right, man, Travis, man, look, man, it's always a treat to have you by, brother, man. Come, man, you can come hang out with us more, man.
Anytime.
I'm still dying for the day that you bring like a drum set up to maybe the studios and when you're in New York or something, and just. Man, I want to do a Friday cypher with you. Where I bring all these MCs, man. We bring the most ferocious hyenas. Up to the set, and then you play underneath them, man, and kids can freestyle on the whole nine. Man, you down for that?
Tell me when.
I'm gonna tell you when. That's what's up. Travis Barker, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, man. Get the new single too. It's called 100, and then you could go to his SoundCloud to right? The link is on your SoundCloud. Yep. All right. And go to YouTube and check it out, man. We got a cypher coming up in just a few moments. Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5.
It's Sway in the morning, only
on Shade 45.